The Romans have done it, so have the Elizabethans, and it's been featured in cookery books since 1439. The ubiquitous pancake. It comes as a flat crepe. Sometimes it's made out of flour and sometimes with buckwheat. But here I'm going to show you how to make an American style, like a cross between a crumpet and a hot cake. And it's light and fluffy, served with a plum compote, flavored with orange juice, star anise and ginger. So to make the plum compote, I have ginger, some grated ginger, about half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of ginger, 3 star anise. We've got some orange juice, the juice of 2 oranges here, about 200 grams of caster sugar and 200 grams of plums. Now for the pancake batter, I have some salt. I've got 2 egg yolks, which has got 1 whole egg too. 25 grams of melted butter, the zest of 2 oranges, and there's about 40 grams of sugar, some plain flour, about 50 grams of plain flour, and 250 grams of ricotta cheese and 2 egg whites. Okay, now we're going to make the compote. Here I've got some water. To this I'm going to add sugar, some ginger. That's going to give that lovely punchiness to the syrup, and some star anise, which gives that lovely flavour, and obviously the juice of oranges. And that's going to now come to the boil, and I'm going to reduce it so it becomes a lovely thick syrup. Just allow the water to come to the boil. Just keep an eye on it. You don't need to carry on stirring vigorously. You just don't want the water to bubble over. The star anise gives a lovely licoricey tones to the syrup. The ginger gives a bit of punch, and the plums will just yield to it and just think, oh my God, sweet surrender. You know, in this recipe, we're not going to be burning. And actually, I'll be yearning for this delicious delights because they're so lovely. The flavors are gorgeous. If you don't use plums, you don't have to have a plum compote. You can actually make it with blueberries, blueberry and lime. Whatever fruits are in season would be wonderful. You can make a lovely cherry compote. Cherry and star anise works beautifully with cinnamon. So there's so many things you can actually do. You can have any type of compote with these pancakes, and you can actually add certain fruits into this batter. You could do anything with this dish. Okay, the syrup has thickened rather beautifully. It needs to thicken, so it's got that lovely thick syrupy consistency. Now add the plums to this. So this will only take about 8 to 10 minutes to poach in the liquid, and once it's cooked till it's tender, then we're going to just allow it to cool. At this point, you don't really want to start mixing it too much because the plums are very watery, and once they start getting tender, you don't want them to go mushy. So you want to try and create a bit of texture with those plums. So you want some nice, you know, some chunky bits in that compote. And I think this is ready now. You can see it's thick, gorgeous, and also the plums have softened into this bowl. See that lovely colour, plums. There we go, done. Right, and there you have this fabulous compote, which you need to allow to cool for a few hours so that it starts to thicken, the flavours will start developing, and it's wonderful, either with a pancake or on its own with a dollop of yogurt. It couldn't be any better. Divine. Now that we've done the compote, we're now going to start making the pancake. Here we have some ricotta cheese, so I'm going to put that into the bowl. It's 250 grams of ricotta cheese. And then we're going to put some melted butter. What I'm going to do first is to actually mash this with a fork, the cheese and the butter. Just let that sort of mash up together. And now I'm going to put the egg yolks and the whole egg to this. Just give that a good sort of beat. Now, the eggs, you know, the whole thing about pancakes is that the eggs symbolize creation. And the ricotta cheese should be in milk, but the milk was actually for purity. And the flour was the staff of life. So here we're going to put some staff of life into this batter. That's what we're going to do next. And then we're going to put some lovely flavorings like orange zest. So orange zest goes in, and a bit of salt. Salt actually symbolized wholesomeness. So a bit of salt, and then some sugar. And all that goes in. Just mash it up. So you've got the flour now actually stabilizes this. Stabilizes it, and it's lovely. Look at that. Now that's almost ready. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to get my egg whites here. There's a couple of egg whites here. Into the bowl it goes, and then give it a nice whisk. You can see it's got lovely stiff peaks. So now what we're going to do next is to get a spatula, and we're going to put half this mixture in. So I'm just going to fold it. I don't need the fork now. And just lightly fold it through so I'm not losing any air. And then the rest of it goes in. Oops. Done. And then just a figure of 8 cut. So you've got that, all that lovely egg white sort of incorporating into the mixture of the flour, the orange zest, and sugar, butter and eggs. Lovely. So here we have our pancake batter. Done. Okay. And now we're going to start frying the pancakes. Okay, so we've got the batter done. All we're going to do now is to fry these lovely pancakes. So in the frying pan goes a bit of butter. So just melt some butter. There we go, that should be enough. I love butter. So we're just going to let this melt. And I've got my lovely batter here. Okay. And so just little spoonfuls of clouds, which are just going to go into the frying pan. Okay, we'll do 3. Let's do odds. So get that nice and hot. And then this doesn't need any tossing or flipping. It just needs turning with a palette knife. So you just want these, it'll take about 2 minutes, approximately 2 minutes on each side. So all you've got to do is, what you're trying to achieve is that when you can see it going golden at the edges, that's the time to turn it. And it's not like where you have to sort of toss the pancakes or flip it. All you're going to do is to just use your egg lifter, and then you just flip it over. And you've got these lovely sort of light, airy, almost like crumpet-looking pancakes. Now, the origins of Shrove Tuesday, well, actually the term Shrove actually is a corrupted corrupted word from shrive. Shrive actually means to confess. So you would go through confession, you would rejoice in the forgiveness of sins and whatever before you go into the fasting period. But it's funny that most cultures do go through a fast. You know, Ramadan, there's Lent, there's Rosh Hashanah, there's all sorts of cultures which do fast, and actually it's very good for the body because it's actually you detox and you're actually cleaning out your liver, basically. That's what fasting's all about. So these are nice and ready. You can see they're beautiful. Look at them. Absolutely gorgeous. There we go. And job done. So we've got these pancakes here, and to that I'm going to now pour this lovely, delicious plum compote on top. And if you want it to be a bit more extravagant, you can serve it with a bit of creme fraiche or a dollop of Greek yogurt, and that will set you for the day, because you can have this as a breakfast dish or it would be lovely as a dessert. Either way, you can have it any time of year, not just for Shrove Tuesday. And there we have it, a ricotta orange pancake served with a spiced plum compote.